and welcome to Enfield Today. I am your host, Kevin Kibbe. We have got a great show lined up for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about the Reach Foundation. And with me in studio are Kelly Stuper and Mr. Mark Wilson, who's the founder of the Reach program. Welcome, guys, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks for having us.
What is the Reach Foundation? Explain it for the viewers.
Well, I mean, quite frankly, the Reach Foundation is simply a 501c3 charitable foundation. And it's a foundation that my wife, Wendy Wilson, and I created back in 2000 in an attempt to help kids in need. It's just something that we felt drawn to do. We had a private business that did well when we lived in Texas, and one of the first things we did when we made a few dollars was try to give some of that money back and help children in need. And so we formed the Reach Foundation.
I mean, it's so neat to see people giving back and stuff. So what kind of programs do you guys have?
Well, the various programs we have, and I wanted to just, and I should have said this when I talked about the Reach Foundation, our motto, just very quickly, who the Reach Foundation is a very simple mission statement, a very simple tagline. And this is what we try to impose on the children that we work with, or people who work with us helping children. If and only one life, make a difference.
Amen.
How simple is that?
Sure enough.
The programs that we focus on help kids in need, and in need is very simply whether it's social need, financial need, or physical need. We've been involved with St. Jude Children's Hospital, Connecticut Children's Hospital, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I've served on their local boards.
Have you?
We have a Shop with a Cop program that we're going to be talking about tonight. We have a scholarship program where we provide $8,000 in a scholarship to graduating high school seniors who I say fall through the cracks. They're not that straight A student. They're not necessarily a minority student. They're not an athlete, but there's something about them that says that they might need some help and they might be something special one day. And we try to help those children. I think we're somewhere around 90 or 100 scholarships now in the 15 years we've been doing that. And we try to do that. You can't do it everywhere, so we do it in the locations where we do business. Our Shop with a Cop program I mentioned. Another program that's very close to us is our Kids Helping Kids program, where we try to go into schools and mentor and motivate the kids in elementary schools how important it is to give back and help those who aren't as fortunate as you. And we also have a program that we support. It's another foundation called Project Child Save. And it's a little bit dark when we talk about this, but we raise funds for Project Child Save. And Project Child Save, quite frankly, is an organization of men and women that go and rescue children who have been kidnapped out of the United States, taken out of the United States, and sold into sexual slavery. These men and women go into these locations and bring these children back home.
How do they do that?
You ever seen the movie Rambo? You ever seen Rambo?
Yes, sir.
It is like that.
Wow.
You can even go on YouTube and type in Discovery Channel Project Child Save, and you can find an hour-long program about this organization. It is dark. As Ty Ritter, who's the chairman and the founder of this organization, says, he has to get off the curb into the gutter to do his job, but he gets back on the curb when he comes home.
Because that must be dangerous for the child. Obviously, I can't even imagine the torment that those kids have gone through to get to that point.
Well, we say we don't save. We're not curing cancer. We're not curing a disease, and we're not even saving a life. We're bringing a child back to life. We're saving a soul in those cases. We've been involved, I believe, for 6 years, and the child count since we've been involved, I think we've rescued over 700 children.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
And
incredible.
it's amazing how hard it is to raise money for that too, because it is surreal.
It is,
surreal.
and it's something everybody thinks is so bad, but you're right. It's not like you can drop money in the bucket and help.
Well, the question I asked somebody, how much you pay if it was your child?
Right.
And they're not going after your child or my child because we can go get our children back. They're going after those who can't do it, and that's what this organization serves, is to bring these children back to life.
And oftentimes, when they go to get one child, there's more than one there, and they bring them all home.
Yeah. We focus on American children because you can't save the world. We can only do what we can. So we'll go into a camp knowing there might be 2 children there that we're after, but if there's 8 kids there or 17 kids there, we bring them all back. And they've been doing this for over 35 years, and we've never lost a child.
What are some of the events that you guys like? What do you sponsor to raise money? I mean, because all this stuff is not cheap.
Sure. Well, of course, we just take donations. If anybody wants to go to thereachfoundation.org, they can go to our website and donate. But we have events. We have a beer bash, a crazy beer bash. We have a crazy beverage bash. And Kelly, if you want to talk about some of these programs, but last Thursday night at Foxwoods, we had a concert. And we do a lot of concerts because music brings people together. And I find that music speaks to a lot of people, and people want to hear concerts, but they don't want to hear me talking about children. So I produce a show, bring you in, put you in a seat, lock the door on you. You got to listen to me for a few minutes, and then we'll give you some good music.
So we get
We'll have some
you
good
first,
music.
and then
That's
the
right.
music. Yeah.
That's right.
We also have a Reach charity golf tournament that Crazy Bruce sponsors a significant amount of that program that brings in a lot of golfers and a lot of funding.
And then we were talking a little bit during some downtime about what was it called, the beer tasting thing?
Right.
The Brew Bash.
Yeah. What is that now?
It's a really like a big beer tasting that people buy a ticket for. They come in, they listen to music, they taste several hundred types of beers.
Oh my goodness.
Several hundred types of beers, and we have cornhole tournaments. The one in the fall, we have fire pits. It's really a really cool.
We're in our second year of the
Organ-
Beer
yeah,
Fest. We just finished that. And this year we had over 2,500 paid. Last year, our first year, we had 1,700 paid.
17, yeah.
And we had over 200 different beers and
So, like,
over
you
80
guys
different
must get-
breweries.
That's crazy too, because you guys must get the vendors or the brewers or whatever to make it. And then
The
all this-
distributors, yeah.
That's
They-
got to be
they
a
all
big
distribute.
thing
Yeah,
to
they
organize.
donate all the beers, all donated.
Wow.
We had it at Mount Southington this year in Southington, Connecticut, and they donate the space for us. And so a lot of people give in and pitch in for this because they really want to help these kids.
Sure, good for you guys. And now there's an event coming up right here in town on the 13th. It's called Shop with a Cop. You mentioned a little bit. Go into a little more detail on that.
Yeah, Shop with a Cop is a program that I actually discovered out in the Midwest. I'm a Midwest guy. I'm an Air Force brat. Grew up a lot in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. And I was actually visiting my parents in Arkansas one Christmas and walked out of Walmart one morning and police cars were pulling in the driveway, lights and sirens going. I've got bags in my
And
hand
you're
wondering
thinking,
what
"I didn't steal
what did
anything."
I do wrong, right? And the school buses pulled in. I asked what was going on, and they informed me that they pair a police officer with a child and they take them in shopping. And so we brought that back to Connecticut, and Kelly's been spearheading that, and she can tell you about how we do it here in Connecticut and doing a wonderful job here.
Yeah.
It's really an amazing and unique experience during the holidays for some of these kids in need. It's the Connecticut law enforcement and Reach have joined forces to really try to strengthen the relationship between the communities and law enforcement. And we bring the kids together for a meet and greet with their partner for a day. They get to share a meal, depending on the location, some type of activity or entertainment, and then all the cruisers head out to our host Target stores, and the kids follow behind. This year, DATCO, our very generous sponsor, is donating all the buses to transport the kids to the shopping locations. And with lights on, all the cruisers go, the kids follow behind. They meet back at Target with their partner for the day, where they get to shop for themselves, their families, and another child that's been identified from the service area of the law enforcement officer.
I think, well, I was going to
Please go
say, I think this is so neat because in this climate, this day and age, to get the kids or the young adults to look at police officers and as a friend, as a good thing instead of, an enemy.
Really,
is-
at this time of political and
Correct.
police unrest,
Yeah,
the law
it's rough
enforcement
out there.
unrest, this couldn't have come at a better time.
Well, we all are human beings, and when the police cruiser pulls up behind us, our blood pressure goes up about 100%.
Oh, sure it
And we
does.
start looking around wondering what we're doing wrong in the car right away.
Right.
And a lot of these kids, this is something they see every day, and oftentimes a police officer might be there to remove somebody from their home. And this allows them to spend time with a police officer to find out that these are just men and women, they're human beings, that they care about these kids. But what's even more magical is that these police officers get to spend some one-on-one time with these kids.
Right, it works
and learn
both
that
ways.
these are just children.
Yep.
They're not a group of 30, they're not a group in a house that's causing some problem. These are young kids who are angels, who are in a bad situation, and we're trying to help them before they get out and lose their wings, if you
I mean,
will.
you're right too, because through no fault of their own,
Right.
they can't, choose their environment.
Yeah.
But what they can do is with proper guidance and help and stuff, choose their future.
And you said it just right there with the environment, because I've learned in the 10 or I guess now 16 years we've been doing REACH programs, we all talk about children in need and every child deserves a chance. I'm learning that children deserve a chance to have a chance.
A lot of these police officers are as excited about this program as the kids are. They clamor to sign up every year. Right now we've got 30 departments, including local law enforcement departments and state troopers participating in this program Connecticut-wide. So
That's just amazing. Now, this has got to be a tough call at sometimes, but how are the kids chosen? Because, do they have to meet qualifications? Or?
Well, at this point, I work very closely with a lot of the service agencies like Social Services, Youth Services, the Boys and Girls Clubs, PAL programs from local law enforcement, and a lot of the guidance departments at schools help, the SROs help.
So a lot of them are referred by, say, a guidance counselor or...
Sure.
And oftentimes police officer is aware of a family or a child that might have some issues and might work well for them. And what's amazing about these kids is you give them some money and say, you can go into the store with the officer and buy whatever you want. And you think they're going to buy toys and candy and gum.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, the first thing they do is they'll buy something for themselves, but then they're buying something for their sister,
was
their
just gonna
brother,
say
their
that.
mothers, their fathers. And it's amazing because these are good kids. They care about their families,
Right.
they care about their communities, and we just don't give them the opportunity to carry that forward.
There are many kids who don't choose presents for themselves.
I was just going to
at
say, I can absolutely
And
picture
many,
that.
many who are buying food, many are buying decorations for their bear trees, or for their teachers, but not for themselves, which is pretty amazing.
It is. It's selflessness, and it starts young, and it's a natural thing, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, you guys have partnered with a few organizations. Can you tell us who's involved? Like, how does that work?
We have been so fortunate to have some generous sponsors throughout the 4 years that we've been doing this program. This year, in Enfield, we are so grateful to have partnered with Assinuntuck College and the Outback, who is going to provide all the food at Assinuntuck.
Wow.
And of course, our host Target stores have been so generous. In Southington, it will be the Crystal Bees, and they get to bowl there, and we'll have pizza. And in Milford, it'll be the AMF lanes where they get to bowl with the cops in their uniforms and their bowling shoes. That's a riot.
That must be fun. And some of these kids probably beat the cops.
Oh,
and then,
they're just, it's so exciting. And in Manchester, it's the Dave and Buster's who have so generously provided food and entertainment for 2 years now.
Awesome stuff. Talk about, briefly, if you will, the benefits of involving the police and making connections. How does that go?
Well, the biggest benefit I get is I get every chief of police business card. I
There
can put
you
it behind
go.
my driver's
Right?
license.
I know this guy.
It's working with the police. I find the benefit that I like is with the police departments, that they start to realize that these are children, because we put them in bad situations at times, and
Right.
especially like what's gone on over the summer with the police shootings that have gone on because of some, maybe some misunderstandings, miscommunications, and things that have gone on in the community, and they're going after the police officers, and they're there to serve and protect, or to protect and to serve, and to see them realize that these are children is kind of magic to me, because they realize these are just children and they're lost. A lot of these kids are lost. And the communities, we try to work in the communities. If you go up to the north end of Hartford on Albany Avenue, I have a head bigger than this room, but I never wanted my name on a building, but there's a Wilson Gray YMCA. And that's my wife and I provided significant funding to help build the YMCA at the north end of Hartford, which has become an oasis in the north end of Hartford for these children and the families to go, at night after school, educational programs, health programs, and just a place they can go and be safe. And it's off limits to the bad guys. The bad guys outside have said it's off limits. They want to keep it safe for their kids.
And they do.
Everybody wants their children to be better.
Now, do you, like, would it be you that goes into, for example, at police, do you go in and ask to speak to the chief? How does that process?
Well, Kelly
start?
spearheaded our Shop with a Cop movement. In the first year, yes, I was with her when we went into local law enforcement offices and stuff, and we just sit down and explain the program, and it's usually not hard to get them to get involved.
And now there are unfortunately there are officers that we do turn away because it fills up so quickly.
Correct.
They are so excited to make connection with some of these kids
I can only
who
imagine.
who need the help.
And I'll bet some of these connections go beyond the shopping for the day in Target. I can see some of these kids really connecting and becoming friends, long lasting.
We have partners who have stayed in contact from the very first one 4 years ago.
I'll bet.
They go to their games, they go to their plays. A lot of them come from single family homes, and they are the father at the game, and they keep track of them. They keep track of these kids.
Now, I know Enfield isn't the only community to host this event. Where else do you guys do here in Connecticut?
Well, this year, as Kelly was saying, we're going to be in Milford, we're going to be in Southington, and also in Manchester for the Shop with a Cop program.
And it's just...
So every year we have been fortunate enough to have such generous sponsors to add a location and children every single year.
I can see what's going to happen at some point is you're going to get more people wanting to help than you have, like,
we already are at that point,
And that's a neat problem to
Yeah.
have. That means you're doing something right.
But we always find a space for them because I never want to turn anybody away.
It's such a wonderful and simple program, too. I mean, the amount of money we're talking about, again, per child isn't that great. I mean, it's enough that it makes a difference to them.
Sure.
But it's not so much that it breaks anybody's bank.
Sure.
And it's a program that I actually wish we could get every police department in the United States to embrace and adopt, and to go out in their own communities and take this over themselves.
Right, because
shoot the boot, stuff a cruiser, so we can go and work with some of our underprivileged, disadvantaged, at-risk youth and turn this around in this country.
I mean,
and get it where maybe things are a little bit better here.
I get emails consistently throughout the year asking how they can get help in their police departments to institute our program.
I was going to say because even like say a small town where, not saying you're not focused, but you're just not there for whatever reason, these guys could probably do this on their own.
Right.
And eventually, like you said, I could see every police department in the United States doing something.
I think they enjoy, though, like in our community in the state of Connecticut, I think they enjoy all coming together because whether it's in Manchester or Enfield, it's all surrounding departments and kids from those surrounding areas come to that one location. So we serve between 50 and 70 children at each location. So it's not only those children, but remember they're buying for another child from the service area of the law enforcement officer. So it's really kind of doubling our
and the police
efforts.
officers aren't only buying into the program to be there and shop with the children. I've asked a few, would you be willing to do a few things at some of our other events, our fundraisers? And they're like what? And I said, well, a dunking booth.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't like to dunk a cop?
Hey, there you
and
go.
they said, I'll do it.
I'll
So
show
come
you.
have a beer at the beer fest, and
Yeah.
we'll put a few cops in the water and throw a ball at them and raise money to help kids.
I mean, I've seen they've done events here, in the town green and stuff where the police interact.
Right.
And my daughter, for example, is very interested in becoming an officer. She's only 12, but they showed her they respected her and they loved it.
Right.
And I could see that the interaction already with police and the children are good. And if you can build that trust young enough,
Sure.
you might break the whole cycle.
Well, especially
you know?
with kids in at-risk communities.
Sure.
Because once that is broken and the trust is being built, it goes a long way.
I mean,
because they tell their friends and the relationships become stronger.
Most police officers that I know personally, they have bodies of armor, but hearts of just a
absolutely.
pudding. If you can get into it, they have hearts of pudding, and they're looking for some place that they can be that way. And this allows them to, if you will, disarm and and be themselves and realize that they're dealing with children.
And most of these folks have kids of their own.
Right.
You know, so they see a child hurting or in need,
Right.
and they're thinking,
What
that
would you
could
do
be
if it
my
was
girl,
yours?
that could
Right.
be my son, you know, and
Many bring their children to volunteer.
get them started young. You might as well give back. I mean, how might people find out more about the Shop at the Cop and the REACH program? What's your guys' website and stuff like that?
We would be so grateful for you to go to the website. It's www.thereachfoundation.org.
And it'll be on screen too. So if you miss what she's saying, you know, we'll have it up there. So go ahead.
And feel free to donate there, find out how you can be a sponsor, how you can get involved to volunteer. You can also reach me at info@thereachfoundation.org.
Okay.
And I would be happy to answer any questions.
I'll bet.
And if they want to learn very quickly more about the REACH Foundation, there's a 58-second video. There's a young girl's face. Just click on it. It runs 58 seconds, and it will tell you all about the REACH Foundation. It's the children talking about themselves.
Well, we got a few minutes still to wrap up. So review the dates of the REACH Foundation, providing the programs and whatnot. What do we have coming up? Do you know the dates off the top of your head? I know the
I do.
Anfield one's in December.
I do. The first one is December 6th, which is in Manchester, so it'll start at the Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
December 8th will be the Enfield location, and that starts at Assinuntuck with the Outback providing the food. On the 13th will be the Southington location, which starts at Crystal Bees. And I do want to mention that the Pettit Family Foundation, which we have been great sponsors of, also turn around and are a significant sponsor for us
Are
in
they
this
really?
program.
Yeah, good.
Significant.
Nice.
people.
Dr. Bill Pettit is a very good REACH friend.
Yeah.
Very good REACH friend. And then on the 15th, we will finish the Shop with the Cop programs at the Milford location, starting at the AMF bowling lanes.
But I mean, I can see you guys do this probably all year long too. I mean, it's not just a December thing. You
Well,
know?
Yeah, we have programs that go
Yeah.
all year. Correct.
I mean,
Well, and then like we mentioned the beverage bash and the beer bash. The beverage bash, I believe, is in May or June coming up.
June
The
3rd.
beer
It'll be
fest-
June 3rd.
June 3rd. The beer fest is scheduled October.
14th.
now where are those?
Those are
Mount
all at Mount
Southington.
Southington.
Okay.
Mount Southington. We're also working on another beer tasting, a very kind of high and exclusive beer tasting that someone's come to us and asked us if we'd actually produce for them. That
Really?
they've done before in the Hartford area. It'll be sometime February, March. We're still looking for location, but they've done it for a number of years. It's actually one of the local distributors, one of the larger distributors here in the area, a beer distributor.
Right.
Asked us to do it so we can keep all the proceeds for the REACH Foundation. They were doing it and just kind of putting the money around to the community, but they want us to take it for our program.
they've asked us if we wanted to be the benefactor, and of course our answer was yes.
Yeah. No, I'm all set.
In August, we do have our annual golf tournament.
We're also in talks right now with the Kevin Ollie Foundation. You know, Coach Ollie from UConn. He's approached us. We worked with Ahmad Rashad's foundation a few years ago down in Mohegan when he did his celebrity golf tournament. And Kevin has asked us if we would work with him at his golf tournament this year at Foxwoods and provide entertainment through our concerts that we do, the REACH concert series as we call it. Changing lives, saving lives with music.
Right. Now, who
And-
have you had? Because you mentioned some names before, some pretty significant names.
Yeah, our first concert, the first concert I wanted to do, I was trying to rent Giant Stadium for 3 days because
Were you?
I think big.
Yeah.
But we ended up at Simsbury at the Meadows there, and we had Earth, Wind and Fire, Little River Band,
Holy
Max
smokes.
Creek, and a young friend of mine, Corey Montgomery out of Arkansas.
Yeah.
We've had the Beach Boys, we had the 70s Soul Jam where we had like the Stylistics and people like that. We've had Montgomery Gentry. We had, and I didn't mention this last Thursday night at Foxwoods, we had a band that everybody here, especially Enfield, because you're right on that Connecticut-Mass border.
Yeah.
We had Mike Mushak from the band Stained and Saint Ansonia. He's the lead guitarist. Brought some of his good friends from Seether, 3 Days Grace, and don't let me miss anybody here. I think that was it. And they played acoustically at
Did they really?
no cost. They did a 2-hour show for us at Foxwoods to raise money, and they're working on the next show already.
It was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
Just
was
donating
phenomenal.
that. And those are some big names.
They are big names, and,
You know.
I tell you, Hearts of Gold. And
Oh, I'll
I'm sure the
bet.
Michael loved that, but Hearts of Gold, man.
bet. I
and
mean-
everybody says, oh, you know, all tattooed, long hair.
Yeah,
I had a
right.
young man once had a T-shirt on says tatted and employed. You know, they're good people, man. Good
You know,
people.
and just and I've seen that. I've witnessed that over the years. There's, you know, if most people who have been successful, which is really neat, feel the need to give back.
Or just have the heart
you
to
know?
give back.
Right, because they may have come from that situation, worked their way out of it through musical
Well,
talent
I
or
kind
whatever
of
have
say
you,
it in
but-
different ways. Sometimes I kind of laughingly say I spent 50 years locking the gates. I'm spending 50 looking for the keys.
Right?
But it's if you really listen to me talk about this, I start getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very selfish thing
That's all right.
to give and to give back like this. It makes you feel good about yourself. And people say, how do you know you've had success in this? And I said, when I look across the room and a mother looks at me and cries and touches her heart or she hugs me, I said, I don't care what it costs, that was success. You've changed someone's life. You've
You
made a
had to be
difference.
emotional saying
You've
that
made a
because,
difference.
yeah, I can't even imagine what that must feel like.
You
know,
I'm a big butter.
It's a proud feeling, but not pride in a bad way.
Right.
You know, you should be proud of what you guys have
Yeah.
done. I mean, it's incredible.
Well,
To
and I
get-
tell
You know?
people, like I said, it's a very selfish feeling, and I'm here to sell you that selfish feeling.
Yeah.
For a
To
few dollars
receive the
a month.
to receive the letters that I receive from mothers saying that their child has said this is the best day of their life is, you know, it's moving, and to witness, fortunately it's like immediate gratification to
sure.
witness these children with, you know, all law enforcement helping them shop for necklaces for grandma and nighties for mom. It's so beautiful.
And
Or
who
just
knows?
The
what you-
morning after a concert, and you're
Yeah.
down the lobby checking out of a hotel, and somebody walks up and touches you and says, thank you for what you're doing.
and how do you know? What do you say? Hey, you're welcome, but it's so.
No,
much
you say
more.
you're welcome.
Oh, sure, but
Because you
it's
know,
so
we
much-
all have those days that are
Yeah.
bad days. And I say, every day I have a bad day, an angel, I get a little feather floats down on my desk from an angel somewhere. Somebody says thank you.
puts
Makes
things
it all
into
worthwhile.
perspective. You know, and who knows? So you know, you might have a kid turn out to be president, you know, someday or something like
That's
that,
what I
all
wish. You don't know
because
who these
of
kids are.
something as simple as shopping with a police officer in Target. How crazy is that?
Right.
You know, we got just about a minute left. Do you guys want to say anything? Any last words you want to get in there? And
Just that if you want to get involved in any of our REACH programs as a sponsor or
yeah,
as
say
a
the website
or
again.
as a volunteer, please, or to donate, please go to www.thereachfoundation.org.
Okay.
You can always reach me at info@thereachfoundation.org.
And they'll reach you.
They will reach me.
Yep. And Mark, I mean,
I guess just to wrap up, what I have to say, if and only one life, make a difference.
absolutely.
It's that simple. Smile at somebody for once.
Yeah.
And a
Open
special
a door
thank you.
for someone.
A special thank you to all of our sponsors that helped us from the very beginning to now.
Absolutely.
And Kevin, thank you to you and everybody here for allowing us to
Yep.
be here.
Thank
too.
you for having us.
You are so welcome. I hope the word got out good. And I want to thank Mark and Kelly. And guys, this is a great show. I knew it was going to be. They all are. You know, reach out to the website. Do whatever you can do to help. And thank you so much. We'll see you next time on Enfield Today.